Shalom. Go hello, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen, that look like those heathen, right? The 144,000, the judges, the would-be judges of the earth, all right? And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And I'm a little upset because there's a video that I uploaded yesterday, and thinking that it had uploaded, I went in to deleted the video, not realizing that it had it hadn't finished uploading. Because sometimes my videos upload in 10 minutes, and sometimes it takes all day. And I've come to realize that it's the title. You really have to be careful in the wording that you use, because if you use something that's too provocative, they take longer to upload. All right. And like I said, I did that video early in the morning yesterday before I lost my voice. All right. Yesterday I almost had no voice, so I'm starting to come back today. I feel a lot better than I did last night, that's for sure. At the Wadi Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And but anyway, just that's a little PSA portion of this video. Be very wise when it comes to labeling, your videos, because if you have to be, use your, use wisdom in labeling them, because the algorithms will pick them up and they won't upload. But what we're going to talk about today is state-sponsored terrorism against so-called black people, and the fact that they even called us black. And one of the things that they did, all right, the main thing that they did was they took the name away from us, all right, which is Yahweh, all right. Notice that is not in the Assyrian script, but actually in the Phoenician, which was found here all over America. And they try to, write in the books that some Hebrew, some Jewish person came over here and ascribed all this Paleo Hebrew over here. Why would they? So they're gonna come over here and not inscribe the Syrian script that they fraudulently use, but they're gonna, inscribe the Phoenician all over America, from Canada to Brazil. These so-called white people are something else. But they took away the name of Yahweh, all right? Which is, you can clearly see through this definition, they very well know that that's the name. It's not Hashem, not the name, all right? He exists, all right? The existing one. The proper name of the one true God is Yahweh, all right? They got it there, 1961, the self-existent or eternal Jehovah, Jewish national God, Jehovah, Lord, compared to H350, H3069, the outline is Yahweh, all right? So they took away the name, and then they took away, a portion of the tribe's name and gave them a color, all right? And then that word black, I've showed you 1,000 times over that word is connected to everything that's negative. As a matter of fact, when you put black before anything, you make it negative or evil, all right? It was the black night, the black day, black magic, black people, and you people still don't fucking get it. It's irritating how stupid you are, all right? The darkest people are still brown. Right, those are old black and white pictures, but if you saw those pictures in color, which they have the technology to do that, which is how you know the natives were our people too, all right? You can clearly see that these people are brown. As a matter of fact, now that I'm in my receipt folder, and this is all being done through the Spirit, perfect. In Virginia, there was 2 acts passed in 1682. That combined the Native Americans and Africans into a category, Negroes and other slaves. They were all called Negroes. Many natives, they were all brown, all right? were reclassified as Negroes, because they are one and the same people. The powers that be very well knew that we were the same people. Hence the reason why they hid the Phoenician Hebrew and tried to write it off as, and was show it upside down and say that it was native writing. All right, or when it was too obvious to where you couldn't hide it, they said that some Jewish person came over and inscribed it on rocks, 1,000 years ago, 2,000, and all that kind of madness. Just lies, man. Lies. All right. You have so many books and so many anthropologists and writers, James Adair being one of them, that wrote how the natives were keeping Hebrew customs, and to the point to where it was impossible for them not to be the Israelites. Right? It was beyond coincidence that they were keeping so many Hebrew customs. All right. And one of them was the land Sabbath. All right. And they kept different feasts that were only kept by, what the world referred to as Jews today. All right. So, and then also I showed you in 1682 when they combined the Negro and the Native, and said they were the African and the Native, and said that they were Negroes. All right. Because you notice the Africans were never called Negroes. Only the slaves that came from there, and it was called the African diaspora because they were Israelites that went into Africa, and then they got snatched up and brought to the Americas. It's as simple as that. And when they got here, after serving the most brutal slavery that mankind had ever seen, their development was arrested. Before I go into that, let me grab a scripture. And they said, I didn't prepare for this at all. The Spirit just jumped on me. I looked at a few things, and this is what it is. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. And it reads, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them held them fast. They refused to let them go. Well, there it is. The children of Judah. Come on, man. And the children of Israel were oppressed together. That's why they got reclassified as the same people. All right? And what happened to them later? All of them. Especially because we have a saying amongst us that the Northern Kingdom gets it first and Judah gets it the worst. But, our arrested development, our development was arrested. We were disenfranchised. You have the 1883 land giveaway, where they stole the land from the Northern Kingdom, my people, all right, prevented the Southern Kingdom, my other people, from buying it or owning it, and they gave it to Europeans, which were able to pass it on generation after generations. Then you have the Dawes Road, where white people got to pay $5 to get on a list that made them native all of a sudden on paper. And those are the people getting the checks from the casinos and the free college and all the different benefits that come along with being a native, and the real natives really don't get. People don't know that. The real natives are stuck on reservations with high suicide rates and drunkenness and drug addictions and problems. They don't even have running water on some of those reservations. And they're native to this land. Come on, man. All right. Then you had the Jim Crow. Then you have redlining. And this funny thing, and you're looking at all these different atrocities that were done. The Elaine massacre, the 1919 Red Summer, right? Across America, all right? All these did the race riots here in Chicago. Chicago race riots, 1919 race riots were all over America, and they were all started by so-called white people arresting the development. Look at that. East St. Louis, Elaine, Tennessee, Chicago, Florida, Alabama. I mean, everywhere. All right. And it was a orchestrated move by so-called white people to stop blacks from having their own neighborhoods, their own stores, their own businesses, et cetera, they couldn't understand, like they couldn't fathom the thought that these former slaves were doing better than white people in their own country they had stolen, and they sought to destroy it. And what did they do after that? They built projects. And when a project is literally a scientific project, and how did they use this project? Well, part of their science was negative music influences, drugs into the neighborhoods, no funding to the schools, removing the father from the family, all right? Elevating the woman above the man. It's giving them jobs that men should have, and messing up the family order, right? Making women policemen, bus drivers, train operators, post office workers, jobs with pensions that normally men got and took care of their families. And then so-called black and Hispanic men, by the number, are held back from these very jobs that I just mentioned, and they're giving to the women of those tribes, which creates that imbalance. Now the woman is working and earning a pension, and the man is struggling, all right? And it creates that imbalance that I don't need a man. Then the ones that don't work, the government takes care of them. And if they happen to get pregnant by a man, unfortunately, they use sex as a weapon, all right? A woman can murder a child, give it away, and do whatever she wants, all right? But a man can, impregnate a woman that he didn't want to be with. They didn't even like each other, all right? It was just a sexual act. She ends up pregnant and decides, you know what? He got a good job. I'm gonna go ahead and, and take everything for him. And they do that, all right? I mean, I'm not saying that it's right, but it's extremely unfair that the woman should have so much power over a seed that isn't even hers, all right? Because the child actually belongs to the man, so she can kill it. She can take it to the police station or to the hospital and just give it to the fire station and just give it up, all right? But but the man, finds out, well, damn, I had this event with you, but shit. And then the day later, I found out that all my friends before me, and everybody was having a turn, and I'm thinking I had something special, and I don't want to have nothing to do with you, and now I find out you're pregnant, and now you're gonna force, this guy to pay for this child, for 18 plus years, because if they decide to go to college, you got to pay for that too, all right? And then if you can't afford to pay, the bill doesn't go away. It builds interest, all right? It builds interest, and then it's a fraudulent act because it was in violation of the Constitution up until recently, because the Constitution has been removed. Wait till dumbass Americans figure that out. All right, but child support, Title 4D, is a foreign treaty, and according to constitutional law, it is illegal to put a U.S. citizen under a foreign treaty. That's their own law. They violate it every day. All right? Those unrighteous decrees. Let's grab that real quick. This is Isaiah 10:1. And it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless." All right, so they screw out people over every which way possible, especially the men. Especially the men. All right? And like I said, then what else did they do? The hiding of our true heritage in the true name of God, Yahweh. All right? They refer to you as black and Hispanic and native. All right? Niggas speaks in what they call the natives, tree niggers, forest niggers. That's what they call them. Why is that so? All right, so we're gonna play a little bit of one of these videos. We're gonna pick this one. All right.
Finally, a concealer that understands mature skin. This is creeping into your fine lines and wrinkles and exactly.
So hit the wall ass off my screen.
I'm Clint Smith, and this is Crash Course Black American History. It's no secret that America's history...
So even, look, he just said Black American history. Look at him. All right? If he spoke Spanish, he could easily just be a Cuban or Dominican, because a lot of them look the same. All right? There's Mexicans and Peruvians that look not much different from him. All all right, that are about the same complexion. There's nothing black about this man. Even his beard is dark brown, all right? But yet, fraud, the fake social construct of black. And I can't tell you dumbass niggas enough, you gotta wake up from that bullshit. All right? There is nothing black about this man except his knowledge when it comes to who he is. All right? Other than that, he's pretty sharp.
Hi, I'm Clint Smith, and this is Crash Course Black American History. It's no secret that America's history regarding the treatment of Black Americans is filled with violence. And when we tell the story of Black history, one has to strike a balance. We have to be honest about the extent to which interpersonal and state-sponsored violence has shaped so much of the Black experience in this country without falling into the trap of suggesting that Black American life is singularly defined by that violence. And it can be hard. A lot of the episodes that we've done have been...
Wow. The transatlantic slave trade, the slave codes, the Fugitive Slave Act. Just those three things alone, all right? When you look at those three things alone, you could do numerous unending lessons just off those things, all right? But he goes on to talk about the Red Summer, all right? And how there was an orchestrated attack by Edomites, so-called white people, across America on black cities and black towns that were doing exceptionally well. All right, and they were living separate and segregated from whites. And the white towns and cities around them were jealous because of the success, and they could not have that. It was out of pure hate and jealousy. All right, and America would not be America if it weren't for the so-called black people. Let's
America, you built America.
How about this?
This video is for black people, and I'm 1000% serious. I need answers to this question. Can I please have the list of things that you didn't invent? Because I found out you invented country, heavy metal, rock, gospel, opera, rap. You invented America. You built America. You invented everything, you know? You invented electricity. You invented everything.
That's 100% true.
I mean, I'm at to the point where I'm thinking, did you guys invent air and water? Were black people actually the first people to space? I just need this list.
Little does she know, the chariots.
Actually use without having to ask your permission.
But see,
this video is for black people.
You know, she did it to be sarcastic, but she was yet serious. And the average white person doesn't know this or ignores it because it's not taught. And when they find it out, they just ignore it. Like, oh, well, so what? That was then. No, everything she said is what made America what it is. And then they get angry when they take a fictional story, you know, that's not even real and add a couple of black characters to it. You know? You play country music as if it was your own. You play opera music as if it was your own. Heavy metal and rock as if it was your own. It's not yours. All right? You didn't build America. You stole America from the people who actually came over here and built it up. Why? Because why were the Moriscos and the Morenos, you know, the Huguenots, the secret Jews, able to come over here and start the colonies, you know, and get along with the natives until before the so-called white man came? Because they were the same people. All right? And then the white man came in and took it over like he always does. All right? What's that dude's name? The first president, Hanson. All right? And then you look at American history, they're going to tell you Washington. And Washington told you he cannot tell a lie. He chopped down a cherry tree. Well, the cherry tree was a symbol, was on the Moorish flag, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what when he talked about chopping down the cherry tree, he destroyed the Moorish rulership. And the Moors are nothing but Israelites who subscribe to Islam. All right, which is why they failed. The Lord is not with Islam, right? You were victims of Islam. The slave trade started with them before the so-called white man. The white man learned slavery and perfected it from following the example of Islam. Right? But you can't tell some of these dumb niggas that either. All right? Let me grab another scripture. Salakia. You know, I'll play this one real quick before I grab that scripture. But he's talking about the bloody Bogalusa massacre in 1919, which I believe Bogalusa was in Tennessee, I think.
I'm here in Bogalusa, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Where a massacre took place that is not mentioned in any history textbooks. Black labor organizer Saul Dacus united black and white laborers at what was then the world's largest sawmill complex. This was illegal in segregated Louisiana, and the Great Southern Lumber Company wasn't having it. The lumber company owned everything: stores, schools, houses, utilities, and even segregated parks. They owned a private army and even owned the police. The company's manager was the town's mayor. The company's private army evicted workers from company housing, burned their private homes, and even kidnapped and tortured organizers. They specifically shot up Dacus's home, but him and his family survived. The next day, black and white workers returned to town in unison to continue working and organizing. To stop this display of interracial solidarity, the private army attacked them, specifically with the goal to assassinate Dacus, but they didn't anticipate what happened next. White workers surrounded Dacus and began firing back at the private army while Dacus escaped. 4 white workers would die defending Dacus, while another 2 black men would later die after. Pause to read what one historian wrote about that incident. This is one of many examples of labor organizing in the segregated South. Interracial labor organizing presented the biggest threat to the status quo and still does to this day. That's why they don't want you to know this history.
Oh yeah, because that was basically Dacus in that incident in Louisiana with Bogalusa. Louisiana was a remnant of what happened in 1881. Or in the it was in the 1880s, I believe, 1888, from somewhere between 1865 and 1881, before so-called white people started calling themselves white, was the Bacon's Rebellion, where they, were poor whites and everyone else got together and fought against the rich elite whites for unfair treatment. And so what the rich whites did, the elites did, was they came up with that term, white. They came up with the term black. All right? They said, you're no longer a Negro, you're black. All right? Or you're just another heathen. And they came up with the term white, and whites got front of the line services and everything. All right? They didn't make you rich, but you definitely didn't have to wait in the line. You didn't get in trouble if you got into it with the so-called black person, and you could actually do anything you wanted to. You could rape them, kill them, beat them, mistreat them, mistreat them fairly, business-wise, and nothing would happen to you. They couldn't even, a so-called black man couldn't even take a white man to court. So if he came and, and beat up your son and raped your wife, there'd be absolutely nothing you can do to him. All right, because he was white. He was white. All right? And that's what they did. And that created a lot of division that we have now. All right? And the Edomites were able to hide behind that lie. But now, the shameful spewing upon their glory. That's where we are. Matter of fact, let's get that. We get a couple more scriptures and wrap this up. This was more of a historical lesson, matched up with some scriptures here. And said this was an impromptu makeup lesson for the one that I accidentally deleted, thinking it had uploaded already. So Salakia on my part. But this is Habakkuk 2:16. And it reads, Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. And a cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. See, they're ashamed of their real history, the so-called white man. All right? There was a time when they were proud of doing all these things to you and bragged about it. But now, if you speak about it, you're called woke. You know, you point out all the things that they done wrong, you called woke, or they call it CRT. You know, no, it's not critical race theory, it's critical race historical facts. All right? Or critical race history, not theory. Subscribe to both. All right? Let's go to one of my favorite scriptures, 2 Ezra 6:27. And it reads, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared." Call halal Yahweh Bashan Al Shai Bahasham Rakah Hakwadash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.